Hello everybody, welcome to That's Football. It's absolutely incredible to me that Ange Postocoglu could leave Spurs because he's more ambitious than the fans. I mean, look, he was absolutely fuming in his post-match press conference last night, and I completely applaud it, as I'm sure most of you will. If you didn't hear what he had to say, he basically said that he's learnt a lot over the last 24 to 48 hours about how fragile the club is inside and outside, and also spoke about how many late goals they've scored this season because of the crowd. But the weird atmosphere in the game last night meant that, basically Spurs were happy to lose. And people might say, well, it's going to be very interesting to read the comments on this. Should fans celebrate failure? And we can expand that on, your rival's failure, because Spurs fans were happy last night. I mean, I've seen it amazes me. I just don't have that mindset, but I'm sure some people do. So get your comments in. But effectively, Spurs could have been playing Champions League football, but are happy that they're not playing Champions League football because Arsenal won't win the league. It's incredible. And from an Ange Postocoglu point of view, and if I was a manager and some of you were the managers, I would be absolutely the same. You take a job because you want to win. And then you're playing a game, your biggest game of your career, your biggest game of the season, and your fans and some of the people in the club are like, doesn't matter if we don't, Ange. That's not what he signed up for. Spurs fans can say it's up to us whether we want to win, Mark. Of course it is. Of course it is. But your manager, like me, and like a lot of other people, I would be fuming. Because as a professional that wants to win, I'd see my team and my fans and people within the club going, don't worry about it, Ange. You've done a great job. Europa League's fine. Piss off. The Champions League's massive next year and we could be in it, but we're happy to lose to City because it stops Arsenal winning the league. It's an incredible mindset. And as an analogy, think of it like this. This is basically the Spurs mindset, okay? So you're looking out the window at the neighbour you don't like, and you're laughing and recording and happy as his wife and kids move out. And then somebody said, do you want your own wife and kids? Or partner and kids? Or family? Or girlfriend? Or boyfriend? Nah, I don't want any of that. I'm happy to be on my own. I just love watching him on his own as well, or her. It's an incredible mindset to have, because when you break it down, that's what it is. You've got so much hate for your neighbour that you'd rather watch their life fall apart than build your own. And I just don't get that. I don't get that. And you know what? It's made me more appreciative of Liverpool in 1995, because we just needed to beat West Ham away, and they knew if they let Blackburn beat them at Anfield, Blackburn would win the league and we wouldn't. And they beat Blackburn. Liverpool, Man United, massive rivalry. Built on success rivalry. And they beat Blackburn. We drew to West Ham, Blackburn still won the league. So, look, we had it with Arsenal at the weekend. I actually would have took a win over Arsenal, even though I knew it would have stopped them winning the league and I wanted them to win the league. Because my club's more important. Our journey's more important than another club's journey. Weird. And I think, taking it back to Ange, could he leave Spurs? I don't think he will. But I think the Spurs fans and the club and the players owe him a massive, massive, massive debt, because it is incredible to me that you've got a manager there that wants to win and is frustrated and angry with a mentality that's about, it doesn't matter. I mean, and we saw it yesterday. The atmosphere was incredibly crap, considering you would have got Champions League football. I'm telling you now, if you'd have beat City, you'd have got Champions League football. Palace would have beaten Villa and you would have beaten Sheffield United. So you gave up Champions League football to stop Arsenal winning the league. And that's fine. And it's all about different opinion, and everyone can have a different opinion. But that is true as well. You're in a bloody crisis from the outside looking in. Spurs will never win anything with that mentality. Until you change your mentality and start thinking about your own journey and not somebody else's, you will never, ever be successful. As a Manchester United fan, I saw City win the treble last year. It was really, really difficult to see. But it hasn't made us all season be obsessed with stopping City doing it again. They're going to win 4 in a row. We won 3 in a row. So Man City have broken our record. There's no Man United fans like, let's lose to Arsenal. We did anyway, but it was like, we've got to focus on our own journey. What Man City are doing, hopefully will all fall down at some point. And we'll talk about that in a minute. But the point is, I don't get it. And maybe this is why Spurs fail, because I've got to say, I was watching it last night and I was stunned. And fair play to Ange Postocoglu. And I don't think he will quit, But I think Levy and that club and those fans, you've got a really, really good manager there. And I'd be proud of what he said this morning. I've seen some Spurs fans on social media having a pop at him for having a pop at them. There was somebody in the crowd who was actually having a go at him saying, come on, let's just let the game go. This is a professional guy who wants to win. You don't switch that on and off, by the way. Winning mentality, you don't switch it on and off. It's dangerous. I've said this to United fans who want us to lose so Ten Hag gets the sack. The minute you start, it's like cheating, isn't it? The minute you lower your integrity and switch it off a bit, it's very difficult to turn it on again. You're either a winner or you're a loser. And at the moment, we all know what Spurs do when it comes to trophies. They've got to change that mentality. It runs through the club, through the fans, through the ownership, and through their dressing room. And Ange Postocoglu has gone up massively in my estimation. I think he's had a very good season taking you to 5th. But he knows you should have got 4th. He knows, and that's why he's angry. He knows Spurs should have finished 4th, and I think they should have done. So, yeah, Arsenal don't win the league, but Spurs should have finished 4th. They really should have done it. And maybe the loss to Man City was always going to happen. There were other games where they should have won. But you need to keep hold of that manager and you need to change your mentality because it's so small time. It's small time. And Spurs is a better club than that as well. I'm no bloody Spurs fan, but Spurs is a bigger club than that. Everybody looks at Spurs now and go, all you're obsessed with is stopping Arsenal. You could be in the Champions League, earning money, and not be far off Arsenal. Arsenal a few years ago under Arteta were nowhere. Spurs were in a Champions League final. It can turn around really quickly, but it will never turn around if your mentality is, let's just stop Arsenal at our own expense. I understand it if Spurs were mid-table. If you're mid-table, then obviously it's a big temptation just to throw the game. But to throw your own success away to stop someone else's success really is looking out the window on your own going, I've got no life, but I love watching them fail. Build your own life. Come on. As for Man City, a few people were getting on my back last night saying, why have you not congratulated them on a title? I don't have to. I mean, look, I said at the start of the season, I'll be doing my Premier League predictions reaction on Monday, of which I predicted Man United would win the Champions League, so get your popcorn ready. But I did say Man City will win the league, and I will tell you this now as well. Here's a hot take for you. Premier League predictions for next season. Normally don't do them till August. Man City win the league next year. Man City win the league next year, and Ipswich, Leicester, and whoever comes up go down. I will get 3 of those 4 right, and I'll certainly get Man City winning the league right. That's the problem with the Premier League at the moment. I'm not congratulating Man City because I knew they'd win the league at the end of the season, and congratulations. I mean, I'll say they deserve to win the league. Yeah, I think that respect is fine in the circumstances. But I'm not going to congratulate something that was inevitable. You know, it's inevitable to me that they would win the league. Fair play to Arsenal for pushing them. I certainly don't think there's anything anymore that they could do. And as for these Man City fans who say that everybody else is bitter about the 115, can I just say this in conclusion? Please do smash a like on the video and subscribe and get your comments in below about Spurs. That's the main conversation I want to have because I want to bring it into the podcast tomorrow. But on Manchester City, can I just say, there is no integrity at this moment in time to what you are doing. And that is not my fault, and that's not a Liverpool fan's fault, or an Everton fan's fault, or a United fan's fault, or an Arsenal fan's fault, or any football fan's fault. The reason you've got no integrity and the reason people don't want to congratulate you is because the Premier League charged you with 115 charges. Not me, not any other rival fan. The Premier League brought these charges into the public arena. The Premier League run the league and they've charged you with 115 things. When you're charged with something, it's because somebody thinks you've done something and they think they've got the evidence to prove it. Now, it will go to court. And my belief is that Man City will not get found guilty for whatever reason, technicality, not guilty, whatever. But the Premier League run the league and they've charged you because they think you've done 115 things wrong. And if you have done them things wrong, then there's no integrity to what you've built. Stop having a pop at rival fans for calling that out. We didn't accuse you. We didn't charge you. The Premier League did. The Premier League charged you with 115 things that they think you've done wrong, which would completely and utterly destroy any integrity to what you've done over the last 15 years. So what are fans supposed to think about this league when you win it? What, genuinely, get in the comments. What are we supposed to think when the Premier League is won by a team every year that the Premier League have charged with 115 things that are basically cheating? What are we supposed to think about this Premier League? And why would nobody sit here and go, we've got a huge problem with the integrity of this league? Because there's a team winning it that the league have actually charged with loads of things. And whether they get found guilty or not, it will always be there written that the Premier League felt that one of their entrants had done 115 things wrong. It's a weird situation that Man City fans don't seem to grasp that last 2 minutes. Rival fans don't have any belief in the integrity of this league for a multitude of reasons. But in relation to who's winning the league, how are we supposed to go? What a treble, what a team, what a manager, what a club. Do Man City not understand that? How is any rival fan in the wrong when what we've just had laid out in front of us is by the people who run the league? They've brought the charges against you, not us. So there's a massive identity crisis for this league at the moment. And it's not just Man City. You know, we play too many minutes. We have horrific officiating. We've got teams who come up who go straight back down. We've got loads of problems with the Premier League. And it's fast becoming the French League or the Scottish League. It's too predictable. And predictability leads to people looking for something else. If I was La Liga or the Champions League or Serie A or the Bundesliga, I would be working really hard on a few things at the moment, because in the next 18 months, the cycle of the Premier League could be over. And they've been fearful of it for years. But I grew up with the Italian league being the best. 10 years ago, La Liga was the best. Premier League's on its knees, caused by itself, locked up in a legal thing that could run for years while Man City dominate. It's a mess. It's a mess. But back to the Spurs thing. Get your comments in below. Thanks everyone for watching. Smash a like on the video. I'll speak to you on the next one.